So let's talk about VA loans and some of the misinformation that a lot of people have about VA loans, especially seller's agent. Hi, I'm Shelly Prunkle from CP Mortgage Team, and I'm a certified veterans lending specialist. And over the past 2 years, the amount of discrimination against VA loans is driving me up the wall. And the fact that I'm still hearing realtors talk about VA loans with the incomplete, incorrect information, just as recently as last night. So I decided to come on and do this. So let's start with the beginning of the misinformation. Longer to close? Absolutely not. No loan type takes longer to close than another. Every loan officer and every underwriting makes a difference as to how quickly you're going to close, along with the appraiser. If you have a loan officer who's done their due diligence before you went under contract, who got all the documentation, who verified all the information, who went so far as to do a TBD underwrite, the loan's not going to take that long. I just closed the loan for a client who was deployed for the majority of the time since you went under contract in 14 days on a VA loan with home repairs. So no, a VA loan does not take longer to close by any stretch. Less qualified buyer. Let's talk about this. 100% financing is what you're seeing on the contract because that is a earned benefit for serving in the military. That does not mean that they don't have cash to close. That does not mean that they don't have reserves. That does not mean that they have zero money, period. The fact that they are 100% purchase price financed from a benefit that they've earned does not make them an unqualified borrower. Low appraisals. Yeah, no. The value of the house is the value of the house, is the value of the house, is the value of the house. Do some appraisers get it wrong? Yes. Are VA appraisers more likely to get it wrong? No. Subject to a subsequent review of their work, not by them? Yes. I will go more into that in the next section. Can only have one at a time? No. If the VA borrower has entitlement left, they can use that new primary home. So the purchase that I just did over the summer, she lived in California, had just purchased her property a year ago. She got new orders to go to Virginia. We closed that loan in 13 days with the appraisal, with repairs being needed, with her being deployed. And she used another VA loan to do it. Sellers have to pay to sell. There is nothing in the VA loan that requires a seller to pay for anything. Let me say that again. There is nothing in a VA loan that requires a seller to pay for anything. Only 4% in concessions. Yes and no, because there's a difference between seller concessions and seller credits. Seller concessions can only be 4% and they include certain things, but seller credits can pretty much be used for anything and can go all the way up to 8%. So between seller concessions, seller credit, and or lender credit, you can get into a new home with your VA loan with nothing out of pocket. It is possible. It's all a question of how everything's structured. No closing costs. Not true. VA loans do have closing costs. You have a funding fee, whether it be your first time use or subsequent, unless you're a disabled veteran, then you don't have that funding fee, but the funding fee is financed into the loan itself. You still have deed, title, transfer. If it's an attorney state, the attorney, all those closing costs are still there. They're still the same on a VA loan. So anybody who says that there's no closing costs on a VA loan is incorrect. Again, with seller credit, seller concessions, and lender credit, you could have all that covered, but the VA loan does not cover your closing costs.